Whereas if I were to contrast that, and not to suggest that, Singapore has done every single thing right, but the reality is they recognize their position in the world and their natural resource assets, which is location primarily, and that human capital is the number one thing that they can
Yeah.
focus on, right? So they're very intentional about how they invest in human capital, and not just at an early age, but mid-career education, kind of
Mm.
across the entire life cycle. And then similarly, they look at small business formation, they look at business vibrancy, they look at investing in innovation at all levels as another layer on top of that, and they have this kind of collective set of investments that they make to invest in people, invest in businesses, invest in regulation to drive a vibrant, what is actually not just an economy but a community, right? And I think it's a very different approach, right? As I mentioned, I was lucky enough to be in Silicon Valley, right, and to work with a lot of amazing companies, and I would still never call it a community, right? It's people that are
Yeah.
doing the same things with similar skills, et cetera. But I think it just doesn't feel the same where you can have a walk-in experience with a regulator and say, here's the problems that we're working on. And they say, yeah, come back in 6 months and tell me how it's going. And, we'll share information, right? And then we'll build regulation around kind of
Yeah.
the union of all of those conversations. It's just a very, very different approach, I think, to governance, right?
Yeah.
Recognizing that the people on the little red dot are kind of in it together. People that choose to come to Singapore, kind of joining the party and have something to contribute versus being, aliens, right, who are
Mm.
extracting value from the society.